In this video, we are going to understand the risk management as per clause 6.1 of ISO 9001. And to understand this, we will take help from ISO 31000, which is Principles and Guidelines for Risk Management. If you want to conduct a proper risk management in your organization, you need to understand the link of 5 clauses of ISO 9001. 4.1, that is understanding the organization and its context. 4.2, that is understanding the needs and expectations of interested parties. 6.1.1, that is to determine risks. 6.1.2, plan actions to address risks. And 9.3, that is management review. Let's understand the meanings, definitions of these terms, and what are the linkages of these clauses with each other, and what to do in order to comply the risk requirements of ISO 9001. And then we will discuss in last one real-time example to understand the whole process. Clause 4.1 of ISO 9001 says to determine the internal and external issues. An issue is an event or condition that affect its ability to achieve the intended result. Issues are the events that has already happened or it is currently impacting the objective. There is no uncertainty or probability aspects associated with an issue. Issues can include both positive or negative conditions, and it should be considered while doing the risk management. Clause 4.2 talks about identifying the interested parties and determining their requirements relevant to the quality management system. Interested parties are those which will have an impact on the organization's ability to provide products and services. All stakeholders who have any impact, any interest on the objective are interested parties, and their needs and expectations will decide the level and intensity of risks and actions to address those risks. These interested parties and their requirements will also be considered while doing risk management. Clause 6.1.1, 6.1.2 and 9.3 talk about risk management. Risk management is the process in an organization for effectively managing risk in order to perform well, improve customer satisfaction, assure consistency, and establish a proactive culture of prevention and improvement. Risk management can be applied to an organization or specific functions, projects, and activities. All activities of an organization involve risk, and it should be managed through risk identification, risk analysis, risk evaluation, risk treatment, determining residual risk, and monitoring and review. Let's understand all six of them one by one first, and then we will see one example. Risk identification. A risk is something that hasn't happened yet but has some probability of occurring. Risks are potential future deviations, either positive or negative. Risk is anything which deviates you from achieving your objectives. The organization should identify sources of risks, areas of impacts, their causes, their potential consequences. We need to consider context of organization, clause 4.1, and needs and expectations of interested parties, clause 4.2, while doing the risk identification. Risk analysis. It is the process of identifying the impact or intensity of risk using some logical approach. ISO 31000 defines the severity and likelihood methodology for conducting the risk analysis. We need to consider context of organization, clause 4.1, and need and expectation of interested parties, clause 4.2, while doing the risk analysis. Risk evaluation. Based on the outcome of risk analysis, decision will be taken about the treatment of the risk, comparing the level of risk with risk criteria, and based on this comparison, the need for treatment will be considered. Risk treatment. Assessing the effectiveness of that treatment and selecting one or more option for addressing risks, either avoiding risk, taking risk in order to pursue an opportunity, eliminating the risk source, changing the likelihood or consequences, sharing the risk, or retaining risks. Residual risks. The residual risk is the amount of risk or danger remaining after risks have been reduced by risk treatment. Monitoring and review. Continual checking and do a formal assessment of an activity. There is an agenda point for management review in clause 9.2.2, that is, the effectiveness of actions taken to address risks and opportunities which needs to be reviewed in order to check the effectiveness of risk management. Opportunities. We can find opportunities from identify new opportunities. You can find new opportunities during the course of risk management, and certain actions in risk treatment also considered as opportunities. Opportunities are circumstances which makes it possible to do something. Opportunities can lead to the adoption of new practices, launching new products, opening new markets, addressing new customers, using new technology and other desirable and viable possibilities to address the organization's or its customers' needs. Now understand the whole process, risk management process, with the help of one example. You have to reach somewhere to meet your client for an important meeting. We use this above explanation and try to determine things in their sections that can affect the objective of reaching to the destination. First, see the green part of the chart, that is complete risk management, and blue part is context of organization and requirements of interested parties that need to be considered while doing risk management. Out of many issues that can come in between the objective of reaching the destination, we just take one issue, that is traffic, and that is an external issue. Then we have identified the interested parties that have any impact on achieving this objective and their needs and expectations. We took three examples. Client, who is waiting for you there and expecting you to reach there at 6 p.m. Traffic police, expecting you not to violate any traffic rules, and other cars and people on road expecting you to drive safe and do not damage them. Now see green part in the chart, first column. We need to identify the risk, and the risk here is if not reaching to the destination and meet your client for an important meeting. Identify the source of risks, example traffic issue and its impact, causes and consequences. And then analyze the impact of risk using some logical approach, example severity and likelihood method. Next column, that is 6.1.2 clause of ISO 9001, defines risk evaluation, risk treatment and residual risk. We evaluated it high risk here with respect to the outcome of analysis and our risk criteria, and identify the treatment plan, that is avoidance, example ask for the Skype meeting, elimination, plan the meeting in a no rush time, taking risk with proper time management or sharing the risk with interested party. After risk treatment, now find the residual risk, either it is within the range and acceptance criteria, and then go for it. And finally, in last column, monitoring first and then review the outcome of activity in order to continue, modify or improve the process of risk management. Hope this explanation gives you some clarity about the activities of risk management in an organization with respect to ISO 9001. Thank you so much for watching this video.